Are we ready? Lights, camera, action. Hi everyone, welcome to Friendship Shaving. How are you doing this week? I hope you're well. Today I've got a Parthenon Razor to show you, and it has been very kindly loaned to me by Mr. Darren Dayton. Darren has also lent me his Wilkinson sword sticky, which I'm really looking forward to shaving with next time around. It's a vintage razor, that one. So I'm going to be using my rubber set today, and I'm just going to pop that into a drop of water. And I've got some soap blooming, and it is a Wickham soap today, and it is either Scottish heather or Irish fern, but I've lost the little label that came with the sample, so I can't quite tell, but it smells very nice. Now the razor I've got standing up here with my Gillette Slim and my Gillette Super 109 all ready to go. It's a beautiful razor, as you can see, and I really would like to say thank you to all the people that have been kind enough recently to lend me their beautiful razors to shave with. Without them, the channel wouldn't have the variety that it has had over the last month or so. So I hope you appreciate that variety. I certainly do. It's absolutely wonderful. So I've got some, get some of this blue water on my face. And we'll start to lather this soap up. Or to load my brush, I should more correctly say, we'll start to load my brush. And while I'm doing that, I'll tell you that the Parthenon Razor is a QShave and a Weishi collaboration. It is based on the columns around the ancient temple that dominates the hill of the Acropolis in Athens, and that temple is dedicated to the goddess Athena Parthenon, Parthenos, Athena the Virgin, don't you know? But the inspiration for the razor, and let me just take these out of the way so you can see a little better. The inspiration for the razor is those columns that stand around the Parthenon. You can perhaps imagine a row of them standing that would support the roof. So that is the inspiration for the razor. Quite a canny idea, I think. Those columns, by the way, are called Doric columns, and they're called that. It's named after a style of architecture, and of course we see those columns everywhere around the world. There we are. I think I've got an absolute load of soap on my brush, so it smells beautiful. Do you know this Wickham soap, while you're brushing it on, and I know I've got a soft brush, but it feels very soft and comforting in the soap itself. I'm going to be using a Wilkinson sword blade today, and And the reason I'm going to be using the Wilkinson sword blade again, because I used one last week with my Wilkinson sword classic, is that I had such a good shave with it all week. I had 6 really terrific shaves. It was only by the end of the 6th one that it started really to change its performance. But up until then it was a really fantastic shave with that razor. So I wanted to see if it was as good a shave with this razor. Now, just before I start, let me show you a couple of things. I'd already put the blade in before we started, just to take it out again. So, first thing I notice about this razor is that there are no drainage holes in the base plate to take the soap and the cut hair away from the edge of the blade. Now, I know a few guys have had problems with this, having difficulty rinsing that soap and hair away. I haven't found that, but if you had 6 days growth, for example, this might not be the razor to use. As a daily shaver, I haven't experienced any problem at all, and I've even shaved with it with 2 days growth, and that didn't really provide me with any real problem. But I have found it works better if you give it a blast under the tap rather than swishing it in your sink water. It's a beautiful looking razor, look at that. And this coating on the handle, there are 2 options, one with coating, one without. This is very similar to the coating that's on the Gillette Super 109. It has that same feel to it. It's very, very grippy. It is a twist to open razor, and that action is super, super smooth. It's really, really nice. I have noticed that they're showing up quite well in the video, I think you'll find, but the numbers around the razor and also this mark here are not very clearly defined. It's got a magnet on it, by the way. But I have been looking online at the forums, and it seems that QShave and Weishi are going to remedy that by engraving the numbers a little more deeply and using a dye to make them really stand out. So I'm just going to open that up slightly, and I'm going to put it on setting 4. And even with my glasses, with the light bouncing off this, it's not easy to see. So, but it is a beautiful razor. This nice bit of knurling makes the adjustable part very easy to hold. Just one other thing that I've noticed, let me take the blade back out, is that when you open the razor, the base plate shifts. When you can turn it, and that makes the guard slightly cockeyed. But when you tighten the razor down and open it back up again, that has all straightened up. So not an issue at all, just something I noticed. So the magnet, I think, is quite a neat idea, a bit of a novelty. It has been done before. There is a vintage razor called the Eclipse Red Ring, and that has the magnet in the bottom. Very neat idea. Now, I'm just going to put a bit more soap on my face because I've been chatting. I don't really need to, but I will anyway. There we are. So I'm just going to drain the water out of my sink, excuse the noise, because as I said, it is better with this razor because there are no drainage holes, just to give it a blast under the tap. Now, if you watch my channel regularly, you'll know that I'm not a great fan of long handled razors, and this has got a long handle, as you can see. But I am finding it to be beautifully balanced. It is a pleasure to use. And it seems to be working very well with this Wilkinson sword blade. There we are now. Just run that under the tap. Maybe you can see there's a little bit of foam in there. It's not going to affect the shave at all. If you did have a bit more growth, and you find that it clogged slightly, you could always open the doors slightly just to make that gap a little bit bigger and give it a rinse, and there's no problem there at all. Just tighten it back down again, obviously. Now I do like the shape of the base plate, and you'd think, or I thought when I got it, that might make it a bit difficult under the nose, but when you compare it with the Gillette Super 109, you can see that the actual head is not any bigger at all. They are in fact very similar in size. So this part here doesn't get in the way at all. Now, I've been watching Randy Wright a little bit lately from Polar Shaving, and he has a technique where he pushes the razor up on his nose to make a little space here. And I have to say that works very well, although I normally come in sideways first. Everyone has their own different way, but I like that one. And there we are, that is the first pass. Excuse the noise of the water running. I don't like it any more than you do. I know the video will pick it up, but I really have found that is the best way to clear the soap from around the blade. It works okay if you swish it around in your sink water, but it's not brilliant. So perhaps that is a slight issue with the razor. As I say, daily shaver like myself, and I've only had a day's growth today, so it's not an issue. I do think that this razor looks really, really classy. You can see next to the Super 109 that the handles are an equivalent height. Very, very similar indeed, really. This razor is a lot heavier. It's 3.5 ounces, and I did a little weight conversion through the internet, and that comes out at just a touch under 100 grams. So it really is a heavy razor. I think the Super 109 is about 76 or thereabouts, so it's quite a bit heavier. But despite that weight, it really, really is. There we are, I shouldn't talk when I'm putting soap on my face. It really is a beautiful razor. I seem to have lots of soap, but it's all down the bottom end of the brush for today. There we are. Now I can feel, now that I've put a bit of soap back on my face, that I've had quite a close shave on setting 4. Not really any discomfort, but you know when sometimes you get just a little slight sting when you put the soap on. So I'm just going to knock this down to setting 3 for my second pass. Now I need to tell you that I've had a few problems this week with YouTube and trying to upload a video, but I found that YouTube takes some comments and puts them in what it thinks is, and puts them in a spam folder. I'll tell you what, I'll explain more in the description below this video. But if you have written to me and you've left a comment, and you feel that I haven't replied, there is a reason for it. YouTube have messed me up a little bit. So please get in touch again if that applies to you, and I will explain, as I said. Oh, did you hear that? Just took it right off there. Now the reason this is such a heavy razor is that it is a brass construction, chromium plated. Now again, there seems to be a little bit of discussion online that the blade plate could be a zinc alloy, but on the QShave website it's stated that it is a brass razor and it's certainly got that weight to it. The finishing on the chrome is absolutely spot on, and I should have showed you a close-up, so I will do that at the end once I've rinsed it out and cleaned it up a little bit. There we are, second pass. Give it a quick blast, and let me just take this blade out. Put that out of the way again so I don't knock it over, and I'll just give this a little wipe. Now let me show you a little bit more closely. The handle at the bottom has got Weishi and QShave written next to it, and as I said earlier, that motion is super smooth. There's the inside that you've already seen, but you can see that it's really nicely finished, and I don't know what this coating is on the handle, but it is just like the Super 109. It is superb to hold. I like this razor. It is, for a long-handled razor, which I'm not keen on, if I hold it just there, it's weighted perfectly. The adjustment knob, I always like to open the door slightly when I turn it, just not to put any pressure on the internal mechanism. But there's no click with that. Just a slight noise of the doors moving. I think it looks so classy. Now I have seen pictures of one with 3 circular holes here on each side. So I don't know why that picture has 3 holes and this razor doesn't, but maybe they will fine-tune this razor a little bit in their second run. So is it a hit or a miss? Well, I tell you what, for me it's a hit, and part of the reason is its price. It is, if you go to the QShave website, excuse me, I'm just going to use a little bit of the OSP UK Wet Shaving Society aftershave. I'm going to just put a little alum on first, but if you go to the QShave website, you'll see this razor advertised at £34.87. Now, I think that's 49 American dollars, I think. Okay, so just a touch under 35 quid. Did you spot that, by the way? New way of putting me alum on. Oh yeah, a little bit stingy, just a little bit. So for £35 you get a brass razor, beautifully coated. I mean, you never see a brass made razor these days, and to get one for £35, that's a real hit. As I say, a daily shaver, that lack of drainage holes is not a problem for me. Maybe it's not a type of razor that you would use if you only shaved once a week, but I've not tried that yet. So, and to be honest, I can't see that I ever would try it, but I like it a lot. Now I'm going to use this, got a bit of alcohol in it. And I know I've had a close shave with this razor, very nice. Oh, and in fact that's okay, just a very mild tingle, and some of that is no doubt from the menthol. So that is my shave for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of review of this beautiful Parthenon razor. Well named, I think, and I think the design is really unusual, and yeah, it's quite fascinating. I think that somebody could look at the Parthenon and then take that as the design for their razor. I like that a lot. That's me, I'm all done. Hopefully I will be able to load this up to YouTube. I have had significant problems. But until next time, you take care of yourselves, all the very best here, and I hope you have a good week. Bye bye now.